So let's face it, one day all of us will be sitting on a rocking chair one day, and hopefully it's in front of a white picket fence in that dream house you've always had in that little place we call retirement. And according to my financial expert joining me today, retirement planning is one of those things that we all have to adhere to and have to look at. And Mr. Warren Wilkinson is going to be telling us more about that. How are you, sir?
Thank you very much. Good in yourself.
Always good to have you here. Nice shirt once again.
Thank you very much. Nice jacket. Nice jacket.
I like that. Now tell me about retirement planning. I mean, why is it so important in the first place?
Well, Katlego, I think there's a number of factors, and for the sake of time, we won't be able to deal with all of them today, but one of the main things I want to focus on is that based on medical advances in today's terms, you know, the stats are that if you're 70 today and in reasonably good health...
Yeah, like you.
Yes. You've got a 60% chance of living into the 90s.
Wow.
Okay. So, you know, the challenge that we face with longevity is the risk of hitting the room.
Okay, the room.
The room, which is an acronym for running out of money.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And the challenge is, by and large, is that most of the planners out there use life expectancy tables to say, well, you're likely to live to 80, 82, and they make assumptions based on that and drive you to believe that you would have enough money when you retire. The challenge is very few of them actually then sit down regularly with a client to make sure that they may have a cushion to last them an extra 5 or 10 years.
Okay.
So, you know, just consider having to look for a job when you're 80.
Yeah,
you know, it's a bit rough.
Yeah.
The other issues that one has to address in planning for your retirement is, you know, the fact that a lot of, because of this recession that we've been through in the last 2-3 years, there's still a lot of the retired phased client that is very nervous about getting back into the market. So they're sitting by and large with their money sitting in cash in the bank because they're too scared to climb back into the market. The problem with it sitting in the bank is at the moment with the low interest rates, they might as well go down to the ATM, draw the money, let's say they draw $1,000 on say R500,000 worth of money, draw R1,000 and burn it.
Wow, okay.
Because that's what inflation is doing to their money. It's eating that money up while it's sitting in cash.
So is that the main problem? People don't really prepare for such things as inflation and, you know, market effects.
Correct. Now, you know, the thing is, okay, so Pravin Gordhan has graciously increased the interest rate threshold, but the point is if you've got the bulk of your wealth sitting in cash, it's fully taxable.
Okay.
Whereas if you structure it with very conservative dividend income streams and preference share income streams, those are tax-free and they're a lot more regular. That's what all the pension fund houses use to provide a retirement income and an annuity anyway. So they're not aggressive instruments, but they allow you to get some form of consistent and tax-efficient income.
Yeah.
And then you still need to have a portion of growth in your overall portfolio. Yeah. The other two things I want to touch on just generally, which is also affecting retirement, is our high divorce rate. So you have a lot of women specifically who will be left at the end of the day with not a lot of, don't have proper retirement plans in place due to the effects of divorce specifically.
Yeah.
You know, in South Africa, our divorce rate is over 1 in 2 now.
Wow.
So it's closer to 2 in 2. And then, you know, the other issue is really just to make sure that you meet regularly, because what often with your planner, with your asset management firm, to make sure that those assets are managed appropriately, because you don't just want to assume that I've got that nest egg and let's forget about it.
Yeah.
There needs to be constant monitoring on that portfolio to make sure that it adjusts with the market.
Now, just quickly, one last question. I mean, you're doing all these things in order to prepare for, let's say, a constant flow of income that you want to have to see into retirement, but there are things like bucket list is something that you want to do. You want to tour to China. And how do you plan for something like that, though?
Yeah, well, that's all part and parcel of your retirement phase planning, because what a lot of people do as well is they've actually got to, we actually help our clients to prepare themselves for a stage in their life where they'll actually be spending their money.
Yeah.
And they've been taking the last 30, 40 years in saving their money. Now, that in itself is quite a mind shift, isn't it? I mean, you've got to get yourself to actually now spend that hard-earned money and realize that you're in a space where they're talking about skiing with your inheritance, you know?
Oh, wow.
Spend kids' inheritance, ski.
Okay. You should trademark that.
That is a mind shift that you also need to educate the client with, because there's enough stats to show, you know, how many people after retiring have a heart attack and die.
Wow, thank you
because
very much.
They lose their purpose, they lose what their identity was attached to. So they had a whole shift into, well, what is my bucket list?
Yeah.
What are the things that I want to chase and pursue when I've been in the corporate world for 30, 40, 50 years?
Wow.
And then move into a life where you can go and skydive or dive with the sharks and, look forward to those type of things. But again, in terms of your retirement phase planning, you need to have those funds set aside.
Yeah. Just to say, I wasn't thanking you for having a heart attack. I was just trying to cut you off there. But thank you so much for your advice, man. Really love that. And I think you'll get a lot of people kind of giving you calls, because that's how you're supposed to go around your financial planning. Get a financial planner that you can trust, who can help you with all of these things. And for more information about this, you can always go to our website, expressoshow.com, or his website, montes.co.za. This is Expresso at SABC3.